Welcome to the Undrafted Uncensored cast of Pod. Hosted by Nick Archuleta. Mosted by Colin Zanker. And last but certainly is least,
what is happening?
Joseph Goodwin.
And welcoming everyone to the
Welcome to
Undrafted
the
Uncensored, where sometimes some things don't change, and we play our intro song again. And
I'm
rusty.
And
he
again.
just keeps clicking it twice, you know?
No, you just let it just plays.
Yeah.
It's on automation, just like everything behind you.
Oh, sweet.
So it just plays.
I'm pretty sure it's fine.
Yeah, I'm sure it's fine too.
It's been one of those days, guys. All right. I'll just start it off. All right. I started off the day at 4:30 in the morning, stepping in a pile of dog shit in my house. All right. So if that
don't be blaming Fred the Frank.
Frank the Tank?
I am. He's the one who decided to get into his treats and eat a whole damn bag of treats.
Who left him where he could get them?
I know he's never been able to get them. He
Turns out he was always able to get them.
He probably was always able to get them, but he had the motivation to go get them the other night for some dumbass reason and eat a whole bag of these little snack treats. That
You ever finished a whole sleeve of Oreos?
You ever not finish the whole
Yeah,
sleeve of
see?
Oreos?
Don't be judging.
But I didn't get the runs for 2 straight days because of it, or whatever, however long it's been, 24 hours. I was smart enough to stop at one point, and so he ate the whole damn bag of that. It was probably close to like 30 or 40 servings of little treats.
He's a tank. You know?
He is a tank. Well,
Frank,
needless to say, I got up in the morning, and as I was going to the bathroom, I felt something squishy that I spread all over my floor and in the carpet. So I was an hour late to work because I had to clean it up, take another shower, since I had showered the night before. So I took another shower, get to work an hour late, and everything was just screwed up. Like I couldn't get, like, there's little things wrong all damn day.
Your mojo's off.
That sounds shitty.
Yeah, it was. And so it's just been little errors. I got a brand new t-shirt. First thing I do when I get to school to teach tonight,
Just get it covered in shit.
I Sharpie it.
With poop.
How did you Sharpie your shirt?
Real easy. Here, I'll show you.
I took the Sharpie out of my backpack, and there was no cap on it, and it hit my t-shirt, so I Sharpied it.
Hey guys, how do you think the Marvel Cinematic Universe is going to be able to survive without Chris Evans? No cap.
Spoiler alert. There we go. Yusuf Nurkic just got a double-double. The day ended up all right.
There you go.
He had 6 points and like 10 boards with 4 or 5 minutes left in this game.
And Colin Zanker stepped through a river of shit and came out clean on the other side.
Yes.
Thanks to the Yusuf Nurkic double-double.
So there's been a lot of madness to start this day, going into the madness that begins tomorrow, I guess is what I'm saying.
This is madness.
It's been a wild fucking day for me. And I'm happy to be here with you guys since I missed last week, and I do apologize. By Saturday's show, I'll have re-listened to last episode, and I will have commentary from the Peanut Gallery that tells you how
you'll probably be okay with not.
I mean, by that time, nobody cares.
Oh no, because I got stuff for you guys. Actually, a lot of stuff for Nick. There's still some.
Oh my god! Again, here we go.
I mean, Joe, you have been right. You have said a lot of things over the shows last year, and you were very consistent. I was wrong in pointing out some things that I thought were said differently. However, there are some things that you are wrong about that you did point out. But Nick, there are some things that you are correct about too. And I've had a change of heart on one certain fact, and we'll see if it comes up today. If not, it'll come up in a future show, I'm sure.
Are you okay?
No, I stepped in shit this morning. I'm not okay.
What kind of was this? A miracle shit? Jesus.
It must have been.
Mr. Hanky, the Christmas poo.
Speaking of miracles, let's start with CSU.
Yeah,
Only because
that wasn't a
CSU
miracle. That was straight domination.
They should be thankful that Boise State, Jesus,
Boise?
just watched the CU game, that Virginia couldn't build a house with all the bricks that they were making. And that was the only real reason they won, considering it took Virginia an extra 12 minutes to score any points after they put 14 on the board. CSU went on a 22-14 run.
Yeah. That sounds like good defense.
No, it wasn't. It was
And
ugly.
Was it?
And this is coming from the resident CSU guy.
Yeah, Rams guy over here.
Yeah, it was ugly. It was terrible. I was glad they won, and I got really happy when that lead increased to 20. But at the same time, if they're going to play like that, they're going to be done tomorrow.
What, win by like 30?
25. I got a question for you, Nick.
Okay.
As a CSU guy, as a CSU homer who decides to wear green and gold glasses whenever they're good and deny them when they're not, or just forget about them like the redheaded stepchild they are in Colorado.
Did you not hear what I just said?
Do you consider this?
We know this.
Do you like to consider this their first March Madness tournament victory?
Consider this.
So I've been kicking this around because I've heard this question brought up several times. In my opinion, no.
Oh, good job, Nick.
Because the field is 64. March Madness tournament begins tomorrow. Therefore, to get in, these are like the playing games, like in the NBA, where nobody really cares, but they're going to watch it anyway.
People care more about the play-in games.
That's like LeBron's playing.
Yeah, those play-in games have been fun the past couple years, but the first year, yeah, they sucked.
So, no, I do not think now they are in the tournament. Now CU is in the tournament.
But they're still winless in the tournament.
They haven't played in the tournament yet, so yeah, everybody's winless.
Well, I mean, in their history, they've never won a tournament game.
You're probably right.
Like that's why
I'm trying to remember.
They've never won never won a March Madness game.
I think you're right.
You've never won a March Madness game.
The reason I got my nickname The Prophet was because of my correct predictions in March Madness. I do have to remind you of that. Thank you, Connor.
Okay. That makes sense.
Connor bestowed it upon me.
Our old boy Sheehan.
Yeah, Mr. Sheehan.
And then he disappeared.
I don't know.
That dude like straight disappeared.
Yeah, shout out to ghosting.
Right?
I can say I've been ghosted by ghost sexes now. You should bust these ghosts tonight, Nick. I'm glad that you agree that it is not a March.
They have 4 wins, by the way, in the tournament.
Oh, was it 4?
Yeah.
In 1969, the round of 25 in the Sweet 16. 1989, they beat Florida in the round of 64.
Florida.
2013, they beat Mizzou in the round of 64. And then, for whatever reason, they're including today, and I do not count today.
Okay, so I think so this was so they have one win with it at 64 because I think in the 80s it still wasn't 64. It wasn't the same thing.
Well, 89 it was.
Was it? Okay.
Because that was the last time they made it.
85, I think, is when they went to the tournament.
Was it at 64? Because I thought it was a lower field to start though. But yeah, okay. So they have 2 wins in the March Madness as we know it with the 64.
With the 64, yeah, they have 2.
The 16 seeds in each bracket. Okay. So I'm mistaken. I thought this was literally their first ever.
I would have believed you because, as we all know, basketball is not my strong suit. So,
but when your team's in it, baby, let's celebrate.
Oh yeah, when my team's in it, I'm gonna member. Maybe I should go buy a new CSU shirt tomorrow too. Now wait till the Sweet 16.
CSU shirt.
Wait till the Sweet 16.
Oh, okay.
I don't see them going that far. Oh man. So so I mean, I'm glad we all agree that they do not have a win yet.
This season.
Yes. I don't know. It was frustrating. It was a frustrating victory. I don't know what you guys took from it. I got really frustrated with just their overall play because they started the season so well and they were such a dominant Mountain West team. When they played New Mexico, they were done. They were just tired. You could see it. They weren't making the shots they'd been making, and they got their medicine, which was having to play in this first four. And I mean, that's what you get for snoozing on New Mexico. I mean, credit to the Lobos. They might be a scary team in this tourney now.
Yeah, they're solid. I was here at the station doing the Pac-12 tournament, and our buddy Sean Boyd was running the CSU game, and he's like, "Bro, they lost. They screwed it up. They fumbled the bag." And I'm like, "What? Who plays basketball in New Mexico?" And he's like, "Jamal Mashburn Jr." I'm like, "Oh, fuck. I kind of know who that is. I know Mashburn. I don't know Jr., but
he played for the Wizards."
Yeah, that's pretty good. Okay, no wonder they lost. So, and hopefully they can kind of rebound, get it basketball jokes, and figure it out against Texas. My boy Sean also said he'll take him over Texas. He doesn't think Texas is very good, so he seems to be pretty in the know on college basketball. I don't watch a ton of college, but it's cool to see. It was a fun, novel like concept to see CSU and CU both in this last four or first four, whatever the hell you call it. That was kind of fun. I've never cared about these games too much before because I don't really watch a ton of college basketball, but to see both of them in that was pretty sweet. And to see CSU get that dominant win, and then we'll talk about CU, I'm sure, here in a little bit. That was pretty awesome. I want to look at the bracket now and see what the chances are of them two playing against each other, like how far they both have to get.
No, they have to get to the Elite Eight or Final Four.
That sounds bad. Sounds improbable.
Sounds not likely.
Yeah, put $5 on it, you'll win like 20 grand.
Well, speaking of that, you should make sure, everybody, to come and join our March Madness group.
Yeah.
That we're in with E5280. I'm gonna throw.
Is that the one you sent last night in the text?
Yeah, you guys need to join it.
I'm working on my bracket as we speak. Over. Yeah.
Now we actually have.
Yeah. Now I can pick all my teams because.
Yeah,
I know.
Once we, because I was like, I thought about doing it before, but I'm like, I don't know enough about this, and I'm just gonna randomly take CU and CSU and like watch one of them loses, and it turns out it would have been fine. But I didn't feel right filling it out until after tonight when the games are over.
So it is posted now in the group chat for everybody.
Multiple times.
It's because I post under all of them into all the socials. Except for I don't think it's attached to the YouTube. If you want to copy and paste to the YouTube, Joe, that would be awesome. But join it. I got a bunch of people from work. We are at 20 people so far. I got some friends from work. I got people from all around. I got people from fantasy football. My brother-in-law that Joe likes to call
Joe
my
keeps calling you cousin. Your cousin, brother-in-law.
We got a lot of people on here. We got all the people from E5280. So join our bracket, follow us. What I do want to say as far as the win goes for CSU is I believe I said it on this show the last time I was on 2 weeks ago, or just under 2 weeks ago. There are three teams that I don't trust in this tournament ever. It is Virginia, who was the very first team to ever lose to a 1 seed when they lost to UMBC. I think it's UMBC. 3 or 4 years ago. I don't trust Tennessee ever because they always find a way to fuck it up. It feels like last year they had a little run, and I don't trust Purdue. Purdue also last year. They lost last year in round 1 to the 16th seed also.
Yes, they did.
I know. I was dating a girl from Purdue forever, and it was. I just don't trust them. But oh, okay, cool.
cool gaping
Jet.
Rex.
Yeah, so basically, I don't trust 3 teams ever in this tournament. And the other teams that I always feel kind of weird about are the young squads, the squads that are all freshmen. You get your Kentuckys, you get your Louisvilles, you get your Patino teams, those teams are always hard to trust because they're always uber talented, but you wonder the collection. You look for teams that are usually well coached, a Michigan State type of team that's been around. You look for a team like San Diego State last year, who, yes, I had a dream about them last year. If you did not pick them to win a lot of games, and then you realize going back to that San Diego State team, they had a lot of experience and had been around college basketball. They were an older team. So all of those things combined kind of lead you down, it kind of give you a good pathway to success in March Madness. But even with that being said, there are those teams that I don't trust. And CSU beating Virginia, I knew that was happening once I saw it out. I wish I was on the show with you guys on Saturday to tell you how confident I was in CSU beating Virginia, because I have no faith in that team ever in March Madness. I don't care if it's a playing game. I don't care.
See, I mean, you know me, I love my green and gold. I was nervous going into the game because I was afraid they were going to take everything that happened against New Mexico and bring it on the court with them again, and they were going to beat themselves.
It's the same thing as my unwavering belief that the Broncos put themselves 2 years behind. Just can't change it. I just won't have. I don't care who they're playing. Virginia is going to lose in March Madness. They don't find a way to win. Tennessee, I think, won 2 games last year. And I think I had them actually losing to Middle Tennessee State in round 1 or something weird, or I can't remember exactly what it was. I'd have to go back and look. But those are the teams that I have no faith in. Yeah, I'll probably pick them all to win round 1, but I'll probably have them all losing in round 2. Yeah. And it might be a mistake. It probably is a mistake, because if a guy like Zach Edey for Purdue can stay healthy, they're probably going to be in good shape. Tennessee looks really damn good, but I don't trust them in the tournament. They've burned me too many times.
Yeah, Stephen A. Smith actually called for the firing of Virginia's head coach because of how bad they were against CSU and how they've just been losing so much. And they won a national championship with that guy. But, I mean, there comes a point when, what have you done for me lately?
Yeah, wasn't it? They won the national championship and then they lost in the first round again. Like, when they won the national championship was obviously the furthest they ever got, but
yeah,
they won, then lost in the first round. But that was after years of losing the underdog seeds, or underdogs, I guess.
Yeah,
underdog.
I love March Madness, guys.
As much as I didn't like basketball, this is the one time of year I actually did pay attention. Like, for whatever reason, once somebody put a bracket in front of me, you get sucked in, especially like the last few minutes when you start getting into this, the 32s and the 16s and that. Whew.
You have the years of the Butlers who are now known, the Gonzagas. There's some it's really cool, and they're great stories that come out.
Oral Roberts.
Oh yeah, ORU. Yeah, there's just some really cool teams that come out of these conferences that you hear about, and guys and stories. These are, I think it's a lot of these guys get to tell their story for the first time, then you're never going to hear about them again. But for these moments, it is one shining moment for a lot of these guys, and I just think it's so cool. It's the best tournament in all of sports.
Yeah,
well, I mean it's huge. It's the best because it's the biggest, and because it's a sport that, not like football, where it requires so much lead up and so much practice in order to get ready for the playoffs. So they play so many games. Like, And it's also the only time that you ever get to see single elimination basketball, because in professional basketball, it's always a series. I guess in the tournaments, like Olympic tournaments and Euro tournaments and stuff, it's single elimination. But it's so nice to see that just anything can happen, any given Sunday, Tuesday, Wednesday, whatever. It doesn't even matter. Crazy shit can go down. Teams like you said, Butler, like San Diego State last year. It's what sports is about. Like, it's cliche, but it's fucking beautiful, man. I still don't actually watch that much college basketball, but when it comes to this, yeah, I'll follow it, and I'm following it more recently than I ever really did because I didn't follow it enough to even feel like I was following it right, like I didn't feel that I could even get into it because I just didn't know enough. So these past couple of years has been really nice, just getting to sit back and watch the basketball and not feel like I need to research a bunch of stuff. Like, I'll just fuck up my whole bracket and not care.
Yeah, because you can do so much research for the tourney, and it's not going to matter because somewhere some number 15 team is going to throw your whole bracket off, and that's what's fun about it is you just get those randos sometimes where you're just like, you throw $5 down on the game because it's like a plus. It's you're looking at 240 odds, and you're like, what's $5 on that one? And next thing you know, you got a call and payout.
I have so one of the guys, what's up, Jonah, that I work with, he's betting all the underdogs in round one.
Why not?
See what happens.
Ooh, I like that.
Like, it's a cool chance, and it could end up paying off because you get one to hit, and you're good.
Even if it's $1, it's still, that's $64.
Yeah, the problem is, I want to bet like 5, and then that's 64 times 5, and that's not going to work out.
Well, 32.
Yeah, that's true, but still, that's still way too much. I don't want to do that, but I do really want to do that.
It's
$160.
only $160.
I know, but that's $160 I don't really have right now.
Well, stop sharing your tips when you're working at Starbucks.
I get like $20 a week in tips, maybe.
Jeez.
I was like, where'd all the bonus money has disappeared for you, huh?
Yeah, it's time for you guys to unionize.
Oh yeah, no, that's just in circulation. I paid rent multiple times since then. It's just
rent.
That's how it goes. Yeah, whenever I win stuff like that, I just kind of add it to everything I have, and then once all my bills are paid, I usually have more stuff left over. So I bought some Magic cards. I probably bought whiskey. That sounds like me. I don't know. My Starbucks tips I just used to buy weed.
So there's a randomizer thing. I don't know if you guys have seen this. I thought I sent it to you guys, where it plays all the teams, and whatever you stop on is your team.
Okay.
I think I put it in our group chat. So I did that with a lot of people at work, and I was just like, tell me when to stop. I put $5 on all the teams that they stopped on.
Nice.
So I've got everywhere. My one that I ended up on, that I landed on, was Mississippi State.
Ooh.
Okay.
But I've got everywhere from Florida and Marquette, who I think are higher up in the probabilities of winning it all the way down to a Texas Tech, a San Diego State. Yeah. Jonah actually landed on San Diego State, so he got 5 on that.
Nice.
I got a few of them all around on some different squads that, whatever. Like,
you have the randomizer up right now?
No, it's
You should pull it up so Nick and I can do one, because that sounds kind of fun. Because I'll put $5 on them probably or something.
I'll see if I can find it.
That sounds cool.
Well,
It's like when you find out about the old Wu-Tang name generator, or you were there for it.
Yes.
That's how Childish Gambino got his rap name. If you type in Donald Glover, it comes out as Childish Gambino. Because the name generator is still up from like 2002.
I think that's how Post Malone got his name too.
I don't know what his real name is, but I hope so.
Yeah, no, he went to a name generator.
That's awesome.
Came up with Post Malone.
I love
if
it.
I remember right. Anyway, while Colin does that, let's move on to the Buffaloes, the victorious Buffaloes tonight.
The Buffaloes.
And the good thing is the Buffs had a few other guys step up tonight. And I mean, they were having a real hard time. They were giving up a lot of second chance points at the paint. They were having a hard time rebounding. Again, they are just lucky that in the first half, Boise State couldn't build a house with the bricks they were shooting at least.
Yeah, nobody could. Their star point guard, KJ Simpson, had 5 points in the first half.
Yeah.
For the Buffs.
And that's what I was saying. They had other guys stepping up, like De Silva.
He's really the only one. They had De Silva. I mean, I guess in the
Lampkin.
Second half, Simpson stepped up a lot. Lampkin's just been solid. You know, the last couple games he was getting in foul trouble and having issues, but like he was just getting buckets when he absolutely had to. And it was, but no, De Silva's the one that really carried the whole team.
Yeah, he did.
So that when Simpson was ready to come back from his slump, which is amazing that he was able to do that. That's why he is the star point guard, because you can forget about scoring 5 points in the first half and come out and get, I want to say it was 19 for the game. Like they, poured it on as much as you could in a game that was one of the lowest scoring, most boring, grindy, games you could have. But they did their stuff and they barely squeaked it out, and it's on to the next one. That's all you can ask for.
I mean, they stepped their defense up in the second half, which was really the biggest
Yeah.
piece of the puzzle they needed, because they were getting up shots in the lane and just letting Boise State kind of run all over them for a little bit.
See, and I didn't get a chance to watch because I was obviously working. It's good to see you win and move on at the end of it. Ah, there it is. All right. So like it really is. It's phenomenal to see that that they were able to do that and move on. They've had a weird year. It's kind of hard to believe like Tad Boyle is
named Tad. I know, right?
Like, he's still the coach of this team, and they haven't really had great success. They've always been on the edge of success, it feels like,
Yeah.
So I hope that they can make a run. Am I confident in it? Yeah.
I think they can squeak out 2 wins, maybe.
Sure.
It just depends on.
Yeah. You know what they can't do is squeak out 2 losses.
Yeah, they can only get 1 loss.
Yeah, that's
in
true.
the whole tournament.
I bet they'll get 1.
All right, guys.
All right, here we go.
All right, so it replays, so it doesn't stop.
Nick, that was mine.
Nick, you're going first. You
All
just
right.
tell me when to stop. But like I said, don't worry about the time clock thing at the bottom. This is courtesy of Barstool Gambling, Barstool Sports Gambling. So thank you guys for making this. Really appreciate it. You can find it on X. But once again, you can
Toads Preach.
it will replay over. So stop it whenever you want.
All right, big money, big money, big money, big money. No whammy, no whammy, no whammy, no whammy, no whammy. Stop!
What?
Damn it,
I
Nick! I
swear
wanted
I
to
just
say no
clicked
whammy.
it. All right, sorry, you got to do it again. I don't know why it didn't stop.
Because
I clicked stop and pause on it.
Oh,
sorry.
fine. All right, big money, big money, big money. No whammy, no whammy, big money, no whammy, no whammy, no whammy. Stop!
Oh,
Sanford.
I love it.
50,000. Actually, that is one of the most popular upset picks in the first round.
All right.
I love it. Look at that dog. He's the goodest dog.
All right.
He's just like, yeah, I'm a good dog.
Oh.
Logging in now.
Hey, maybe they have a San Diego State type of run.
Who knows? A San Diego State?
All right, Joe, you ready?
No.
Too late.
And stop. In the name. Oh, I
Oh,
fucking
dude.
hate dude. I don't want to do that. God damn it. That's the worst. Oh, fuck. I would not put money on this. And when they win the goddamn national championship, I'm gonna lose my fucking mind.
Oh.
Oh, man. Fucking Filipowski's going to carry him the whole way.
Oh my god. Oh, that's amazing.
I hate everything.
I mean, I
So
will just
much.
say, if you were to put $5 on it, you would
don't
win
wanna.
$155.
See, that's bullshit. I hate all of this.
Here comes the real test. If I get Mississippi State again, I'll just do this real quick. Like I said, I
I
already
want
got
to respin.
Oh, I don't know.
man.
This will be pretty great if it ends up back on Mississippi State for me. But stop! It didn't stop for me either. Stop!
Blam.
Who the?
You got
that's-
Slytherin.
Is that San Diego or not? South Dakota? Who is
No,
this?
St. Peter's.
Sam Houston. Because of
Who is-
cowboy hat.
Who is maybe Sam Hughes? Who is? I don't know who this is. I legitimately don't know who this is on this bracket.
To the Google machine.
Yeah,
Is it Stetson? I got Stetson at like a plus 500,000.
Oh, that is Stetson against Connecticut in round 1, the national champs. Well, I'm gonna put money on them to win round 1. Plus 100,000.
Stetson. Couldn't tell you. There you go. That's a good one.
All right.
Wow. Oh, there they are, Stanford.
Oh man.
I can
That's
win $3,000 if they win the whole tournament.
This is great. That's great.
Oh,
All right.
man. That's too good.
So
I want to just for future reference, see what it would have been if I could roll again. But I'll just whatever that is, I'll curse and doom that team. So I also don't want to, because there's no way the juju's gone. Fucking Duke, piece of shit.
Oh, let's see. Let's see what's Stetson.
I mean, that would actually be awesome. Story for with Coach K gone, new guy comes in. What's his name? Not Jay Billis.
Not Jay Billis. Stetson. Okay. Yeah, I got it. All right.
Stetson Bennett.
Plus 2,200 against UConn in the first game.
Oof.
I'm just gonna put $100 on it.
Nice.
Not. No, not. I'm putting $5 to win 115.
I got 5 on it.
Oh, I did not put 5 on it. I hit delete.
Coward.
Oh, all right. So Post Malone's name is Austin Richard Post. So you definitely did not put it into the Wu-Tang, because I was going to pull up the Wu-Tang name generator.
All right. Well, I'm just putting $1 on them to win the national championship.
As you should. Yeah, I would put 5 because that's fucking huge.
Yeah, no, I put 5 on them to win the first game.
I put 5 on it. I put 5 on both. Who gives a shit?
Put 5 on Duke then.
No.
It's worthless. Don't tell me what to do with my money.
I'm gonna tell you what to do.
There
You
we
just
go.
don't have to listen, because you're not me. You're you.
I wonder if I still have.
It was funny. Alex was giving me shit because I was like, man, I don't like any of those snow playoff football games. And the bet that he wanted to take was going to hit. And he was like, fuck, man, I shouldn't have listened to you. And I'm like, yeah, man, you shouldn't have. And he's like, fuck, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to make it seem like I was mad at you. And I'm like, I don't know what to tell you, man.
Alex is in our bracket.
Oh, I'm sure. I sent him that Twitter video of Anthony Black and Grady Dick.
They knew what they were doing.
Fucking wonderful.
I still have my McKinnon bet sitting out there for the Hart Trophy too.
Nice. I got my $10 for the Nuggets to repeat that I did for Dover months ago when he was still at altitude.
Plus 900 for McKinnon to win.
Nice.
I got some baseball bets out. Baseball started.
Baseball.
Kind of.
It's in Korea. But
I
it
still don't
counts.
count it. No, well, because it counts on the record, but it doesn't count. I mean, how many players do you think they took with them?
You can place a bet on it. It counts.
If you can be a degenerate gambler, it's a real game. I mean, but technically you can bet on literally anything.
You can't bet on spring training games.
See,
well, I couldn't bet on spring training.
I'm sure you could have found a way. You just didn't try hard enough.
It's not on DraftKings.
Here's
I'm
my problem.
disappointed in you.
Sponsor DMs are open.
Here's my problem. I was up this morning watching it.
Ha! Then it's real.
And Nick,
Korean baseball.
what
It
are
got
you
us through
doing
COVID. It's here now.
what are you doing at 4 a.m. today?
Probably the same thing.
Watching Yamamoto throw against Musgrave.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
Wait, Luke Musgrave, the tight end for Bill Musgrave, former Broncos offensive coordinator.
Are you gonna pull Luke Musgrave, or is the tight who he is a tight end for?
I'm trying to think of another Musgrave, and I don't have one. Sorry, what?
Casey Musgraves, the country singer.
Sure, I like that.
It's Musgrove.
That's close enough.
I said Grave earlier. My bad.
Whatever, that's fine. Miranda Cosgrove, that's close enough, right? iCarly.
Wow, we're gonna go the iCarly route, huh?
As long as it's under 8.5 runs in this game,
there you go.
I'm happy.
Yeah, I just watched the documentary about all that producer and Jake and Josh and all that shit. It's fucking horrifying.
Yeah, I saw a story about it yesterday, and I was like, I don't think I'm gonna watch that.
Yeah, if you have HBO, you should watch it, but also you shouldn't.
Yeah, I mean, he already destroyed my future ex-wife, so.
Yeah. Your future ex-wife? Who's that?
Yeah, Amanda Bynes.
Oh, yeah, dude. That's fucked, man.
Yeah. So thanks for killing that part of my life there, Mr. Producer guy.
It literally says that in the opening of the movie or the documentary series. It's like, if you were a child of the 90s, we're about to ruin that for you. And then it plays the intro. Just like one of my cold opens, pretty much. But it's more official. It's less random soundbite and then music playing.
All right. Oh, man. Oops. Hang on. I don't know what's been going on. My Wi-Fi's been, like, kicking my phone off, like, sometimes.
I was like, Nick's getting lost in the sauce.
Whoa.
No, that'll be tomorrow.
Right.
Anyway, so let's transfer over. We're going to go from basketball to the gridiron again.
Oh.
And apparently, Justin Fields has a new address now.
Justin Fields has a new Fields.
And apparently the asking price is not high at all. I think...
No.
Tread lightly.
No.
Tread lightly.
I think
you're going to say the Broncos should have gone after Justin Fields, and no, they should not.
No.
Okay, then we're fine.
I think we're going what we have seen in this last year. When we go back to the Broncos and the trade deadline, when I was re-listening to shows, one thing that got brought back to my attention was the lack of injuries that had happened around the trade deadline and the necessity the teams had to trade for pieces.
Yeah.
So the Broncos and their trade value, the players weren't valued high by anybody because teams had no necessity. And then we go into this offseason and the players available, there's a lot of really damn good players that were available. And even some that aren't. Justin Simmons still not signed with the team. Justin Fields going for a 6th and a possible 4th if he plays 51% of the snaps for the Steelers.
Do you think he hits that?
I mean...
or do you want to make your point and talk about it later?
We can talk about it later. So the point I'm kind of going towards is that I think for the next few years, Russell Wilson's trade and the Broncos trade for Russell Wilson has skewed and messed up the value for all future trades because of how bad it was.
You're welcome, NFL.
If you look back at how crazy the Ricky Williams trade was, how crazy the Herschel Walker trade was. There are trades in the NFL that happen that are so outlandish that we look back and be like, how the hell could that happen? We're going to look back at the Russell Wilson trade and be like, how the hell did that happen? Why in the hell did the team spend all of that for a player? And then some team's going to do it again in another 10 years.
Oh, yeah, teams have done it before. They'll do it again.
And
teams have given up multiple first-round picks to move up. How many didn't the Bears give up 2 years of first-round picks to move up one spot and take Mitch Trubisky?
but
it's really sad.
It
the
didn't.
Things that people will do to move up just a little bit. The Niners gave up a whole bunch to move up and take Trey Lance.
Well, and that's what I was going to go into. Like it didn't play out as badly as the Broncos did, though. The Trey Lance one worked out because they ended up getting a quarterback, Mr. Irrelevant in Brock Purdy to lead them to the playoffs.
And they made way better moves in getting guys like McCaffrey, building a quality team as well, not missing on an entire year's worth of draft picks multiple times.
2 years too. And you could even go and say it was 3 years because of the players that you had to trade for him. So
that's what I said.
When you go into it, I think that what you see for the Broncos and last year's trade deadline and where these players were is that, I think people are afraid to make big trades right now because of what happened to the Broncos and how it blew up in their face.
And I think it also depends on the quarterback. The market for Fields really soured. But he didn't really ever – he played well at the end of last season. And this season he played a little bit better. But, the years that he started, they were the worst team in the league, and then they were still a bottom 10 team last year. And granted, there was some Tyson Badgett in there, but didn't he win a game or two? I think just one. But still, he didn't really have that amount of worth, Neither did Mac Jones. They both were just kind of and Mac Jones has that dirty player reputation also, so that really hurts his trade value. If you actually saw quality players, I said it last week, and I just get this feeling that, and maybe they draft a receiver and everything's fine, but they're just gutting that team and changing the way they go about stuff. And I feel like Justin Herbert's going to want out. And I feel like there's going to be a huge, trade haul because they got rid of Keenan Allen. They got rid of Mike Williams. They got rid of Austin Eckler. They replaced them with the Gus Bus, who we all love, but bringing in what's his name, Greg Roman as the offensive coordinator, and he gets asked the question, "What's your plan for your amazing quarterback?" And he goes, "Run the ball." So I think we'll see another blockbuster quarterback trade potentially from the Chargers, but definitely somewhere in the next few years, and maybe it works out better. It just sucks. It feels the Broncos got fleeced, man. Those 3 starters are gone from Seattle, so they kind of squandered that part of the deal. But they gave up so much, and then the biggest issue was paying Russell Wilson. If they hadn't paid him that extension, they'd be in a much better situation also. So that compounds it and makes it probably the worst trade in NFL history. It's arguable. It's that one or the Deshaun Watson one for the exact same reasons of giving him multiple draft picks and paying him a shit ton of money that is now guaranteed. The Browns just, again, have a better team because,
they have
Jerry Jeudy now too.
That's
$41 million.
And they extended him. That's going to bite them in the ass so hard. I kind of want to keep Amari Cooper in our fantasy league because Judy's not going to fucking get open. So they're just going to feed it to Amari again. That'll be funny. But yeah, man, it's going to be a 4-year drought of just bad for the Broncos minimum. And if you can get a quarterback this year somehow, you can accelerate your development. Maybe it's only a 3-year drought, and next year you can be decent with another draft pick and some more guys and a little bit more money off the cap. But you're gonna have to give up a piece to do that, or get extremely lucky And that just, the Broncos and getting lucky in the draft with quarterbacks, do not go hand in hand.
We talk about Jay Cutler, Tim Tebow.
Yeah,
exactly. Brian Greasy, John Elway, Jake
Drew
Plummer.
Lock, Paxton Lynch. yeah, John Elway, Peyton Manning. Wait, hold on.
I do want to remind you that I know Trubisky was bad, but he did make it to the playoffs at least.
Yeah, but that was like a despite him kind of team. That was Khalil Mack. That was phenomenal Bears defense at that time.
I agree, but he also didn't screw it up enough to not.
Sure. So did Blake Bortles. Let's bring him back. There's plenty of guys that have gotten to and won playoff games. There's guys
not Russell Wilson in a Broncos uniform.
Nope. And that,
but he'll do in the Steelers uniform. Watch.
No, he's not.
Nick, okay. So I gotta go and throw a little bit back at you here. So I did say in a show, I will get this clip, but I did tell you to go ahead and be a Steelers fan because every year they're 10-7, exactly what you like. They win some games,
and now they have Russell Wilson.
They're middle of the road, and now they have your favorite guy who's improving and showing signs of improvement every week, Mr. Russell Wilson, as their starting quarterback.
You can't say he wasn't.
So Nick,
he was almost good.
He wasn't throwing for 200 yards in any game. He was getting short fields and still only getting field goals out of it.
I'm sorry, how many yards is a first down? Oh, it's still 10, right? So even if you
Russell Wilson couldn't get him.
That's many.
They won how many games still?
They were under 500.
Yeah, too many.
Not what I asked.
Yeah, too many.
Yeah, it was just.
But that was two different mindsets. I was a coach trying to see what he had and pushing his players to see who was worth keeping around. The wins were going to happen.
Okay,
and I'm not going to. Me, I'm not a Peyton defender.
So this is where I will say one thing in your defense. I will go back and say I appreciate the fact that Sean Payton didn't come in like a bull in a china shop and wreck everything.
Yes.
We all knew it. I knew it, I guess I should say. Me and Joe both knew it, sitting from the outside, that this team needed to be gutted. We were willing to do it earlier, but I can't say I have some appreciation for Sean Payton coming in and giving everyone
a fair shot.
Most people a fair shot and seeing what they have through a season and not just saying, you guys are all gone, wipe it clean. I can respect that. So I have changed my tune on some of the trades, although I do think they should have made some of them. But what I will say, Nick, what I will say.
That's why they call it a funny bone.
It was my hand.
It just got.
It was my fist.
Oh, that's funny.
What I will say, though, Nick, is that all of these guys that got the experience and helped this team win games.
Jaquan McMillan.
How many of those guys and those leaders on the team that helped to win those few games to help the Broncos get to the number 12 pick are around? How many of those guys how many of those guys that you talk about getting experience in the locker room are going to be around next year that are leaders on this team that help to get them to 8 wins and the number 12 pick? That's where I have an issue is, yeah, you talk about getting these guys experience, but those guys that helped you win those games are also not here.
Well, then they clearly didn't satisfy their job.
But
it's not.
That
doesn't seem like that. Games. Did they though? I mean, if they're getting kicked out the door, I mean, it's like
they can't afford them.
It's like the Green Goblin said in Spider-Man when he's talking to Harry. Do what you need to do with her, then broom her fast. And you know what? Do what you need to do with her, and then broom her fast. Get her out the door if she's not going to play by your rules.
But this is why I have to go against your theory about getting these guys experience and getting them that winning feeling. Because, yeah, some of these guys were on the team, but they weren't part of it. And so you're losing some of it. Like the Broncos right now have Delarian Turner Yell as a safety.
Well, and most of these guys, too, were also bad drafts by the previous regime.
Some of them, sure, but some of them were also bad drafts by the current regime.
But they've only had one draft.
No, George Payton's had 2.
Uh,
3, I want to say, because the Patrick
can't-
Surtain one.
but you also have new ownership too, and you had the battle going on between all the kids. I'm not trying to make excuses. I'm just saying there's more to this puzzle than just the players are shitty, and they should have been gone already yesterday, even though they were doing enough to
a lot of
do
them,
what you need to do today.
A lot of them should have been, because you ended up taking less on Jerry Jeudy. You end up you might have been able to trade something for Justin Simmons. You might have been able to get some stuff for some of these guys, and now you get nothing because you can't afford to keep any of those guys that you played last year. So now, your starters are PJ Locke and Caden Stearns at safety. You've got
Larry Turner once one of those guys gets hurt.
Yep, which always happens. We're gonna have Pat Surtain, Riley Moss, and Jaquan McMillan.
So what are we upset about? What am I missing?
Those guys didn't play last year. Like, Caden Stearns was hurt. They needed to get something, because then the draft this year would be much better. They'd have more ammunition to be able to move up, maybe get a quarterback, because they'd also already be further up in the standings.
But where were the Broncos valuing some of these guys at too? Because
they were overvalued.
The Broncos need.
Yeah. And this is why I go back to saying, like, I appreciate Sean Payton for not doing that and wrecking house. But what I am saying is, like, Nick, your whole point of these guys need to get experience and know what it's like to win. Those guys who were the ones doing it and knowing what it takes to win a game are not the ones here anymore. Because after, like you say, so what, Nick? But this is what I was saying with last year, is that if they had gotten rid of those guys, those other players would have been playing. And just like Joe said, maybe you only got a 6th round pick, like the Kevin Byard trade from Tennessee to Philadelphia. Maybe it was a 5th rounder, because we all can agree that Simmons is he was a much better player than Byard last year and probably would have made a bigger impact. So let's just say they got a 5th. Definitely undervalued for where we all believe and what he should have gotten. But you would have gotten ammunition. Look at what Minnesota just did to move up in the draft and get a quarterback, most likely this year.
Trading some 2s next year to get another 1 this year.
Yeah, it's ammunition.
But the problem is, too, the Broncos traded draft picks for a quarterback and a head coach.
Yeah, that's the point, Nick.
So this is why you
trade players
for draft picks.
But they're not going to be able to replenish it's going to take 3 5ths and a 4th to get you a second.
Probably, but you take what you can get. It's more than you have now, because now they're in a worse position,
Yeah, and
they'd have higher draft picks, and they'd have more draft picks if they traded Jerry Jeudy for the 3rd or 5th.
If anybody's willing to dance with you too,
they apparently were offered it for Jeudy. For Simmons, we're speculating, but yeah, it sounds about right. Trade him for a 5th because he has a big contract. And then anybody else that maybe garners anything, no one's going to trade you anything for Josie Jewell. Nobody was going to trade you for, other guys that we maybe wanted to get rid of. It's pretty much just those guys, though.
But and now you're in the situation where, in order to move up to one of those top picks, have you heard any other name besides Patrick Surtain being the one mentioned?
I mean, you see so many of those terrible mock drafts. I've seen some that say Courtland Sutton.
Yeah,
I've seen some that just have guys falling to the Broncos. So
that's what I'm saying.
And that's the other thing too.
I'm talking about trading up. Like, how do the Broncos trade up and get a quarterback? Like, you just said it, Joe. Like, I see something that say Courtland Sutton. It's kind of like, yeah, right. Like, that's actually
we don't believe those.
Like, exactly. But do you believe that Surtain would be the piece that could help you move up?
But he's the only one.
Exactly.
He's your only valuable piece you can really trade. Like, I guess you could maybe convince somebody of a package of like McMillan because he's young. But I'd like to keep the young kid around too, some of those other pieces, maybe one of the pass rushers because you have 3. But I kind of like all 3 of them. You don't necessarily need 3, but it helps. I'll never turn down a good Shaq Barrett backup pass rusher. He moved on to kick ass.
Isn't he back in Miami?
Or
is he free agent again?
He signed somewhere. I forget where. But yeah, you could maybe convince someone of that, but it's going to be far-fetched. You're going to have to give up too many draft picks. It's just, they kind of need to just stand pat and let the chips fall where they lie. And then maybe if some crazy shit happens and they can, move up, if Jaden Daniels falls to 3 and the Patriots for some reason are willing to deal instead of take him, you answer the phone. But, at the end of the day, sticking with your plan is usually a better idea. The Broncos are stuck with their plan in 18. They would have had multiple first-round picks. Maybe they decided to take Lamar Jackson with one of those. Maybe they take a good, defensive player like Vita Vea, Roquan Smith, something, who knows, instead of just Bradley Chubb and then, kind of hamstringing the team. So, it sucks because they're in this situation now, and we're looking at it like, man, it would have been nice to get a fun backup free agent quarterback guy that'll be fun to watch, but we'll be happy with potentially losing with. So we can get a good pick. And then, if some crazy shit happens and somebody falls, or they end up taking a guy like McCarthy or Nix or Penix later in the draft, then cool. It worked out, but it's going to be tough, man.
Yeah, and the Broncos just have to stack these drafts. That was the whole point I wanted to make, was that these players that got the experience in winning, they're not. Some of them are here, yes.
I know what you're saying.
Not all
at
here.
The same time, you got to do what you got to do too, because like you said, Sean Payton could have come in here and just ripped out the entire carpeting and said, "We're throwing hardwood floors."
And like I said, I respect him for that and giving everyone the chance. Like I respect that,
and we know the plan now.
But it just stinks that now those guys are gone. Like I said, to your point, those guys are gone, and some of the guys who got the playing time, they got the playing time because they were injured. I was surprised you didn't bring up McMillan, and he had some great games, but he only got those because of the guys in front of him being injured. There's no one that was part of that, winning that is still here, that was ahead of him. So
they could bring back Fabian Moreau for real cheap again.
But it's just, like I said, it sucks that the guys who got that winning experience here are no longer here.
Yeah,
but you got to do what you got to do too, because this is also a business, and as much as we fall in love with some of these guys as fans, you also have to take your medicine sometimes too. I mean, you guys know I love Josie Jewell.
Yeah.
And I knew he wasn't going to be traded, but I knew last season was the last season I was going to be watching him in a Bronco uniform. And it sucks because the dude does play hard. I'll just move over to the other linebacker now and appreciate
Singleton.
Yeah.
Maybe Drew Sanders.
Like I said, now just get ready for 2 years of suck.
Most
likely. It's definitely 1 year of suck, and then next year see what happens, or it's I don't know.
It's either this year or next year that they have to draft a quarterback.
Yeah,
and if you have to get stuck in that vicious Cleveland Browns cycle of draft a quarterback every goddamn year, then so be it. But Sean Payton needs to understand too, he's not going to find Drew Brees again. That's the only other thing I want him to understand.
Yeah.
By bringing in someone. Well, and let's crap. We're too long. We could talk.
That's how it goes. Well,
that's why
if you are watching us on Instagram, make sure to pop over to Facebook or YouTube, because here in about a minute and a half, we're going to come off, but we still have some victory-related formations to get to, folks. And we're probably not even done. Is Justin Fields going to hit that fourth-round pick ceiling? Is he going to play 51% of the snaps? Because now we have that possibility with the odd number of games.
Schefter was also reporting that it's not going to be a sit back and watch for Justin Fields. It's going to be a quarterback competition.
Which they said it wasn't going to be. They straight up said Wilson's the starter. But, come on, it's Russell Wilson. We watched Russell Wilson for the last 2 fucking years.
First time he starts to suck, he's out.
Yeah, he's going to get benched for Justin Fields. Will Justin Fields play better? Maybe not.
Do you guys know?
Probably not.
Do you guys know why this is coming out? That originally it wasn't that, and now all of a sudden it is coming out that it's a competition. Do you guys realize why?
Because they're watching film?
No, because Russell Wilson is doing his stupid fucking I'm working out, I'm doing all this. Oh, let's ride, let's do thing. But in Pittsburgh, and they're already over the bullshit. They're sick of it in Pittsburgh already. No,
there was
that is
a-
a lie.
Hang on.
Russell Wilson's like, I got nerves of steel.
They finally saw what we saw
Metal.
in Denver up close after 2 weeks, and they're like, "Oh no, this is going to be we can't do this for a full season. Oh no. We cannot do this for a whole year, guys."
So a
Steelers
guy from a
Nation
Pittsburgh
close
radio
the curtain.
station called in to PhD the other day, and they were in the same excitement most of us were in. Hang on, let me end this live over here real quick. My brother joined, but he hopefully heard the news to go over to Facebook. Sorry, I'm just ending Instagram real quick. He called up and he was going through the same emotions most of us were when we got Russ here. Excitement. He's going to lead the team. He learned his lesson. He's going to, have all this and that. And, as much as D-Mac drives me nuts sometimes, he's like, you guys are going to get sick of him. He's going to wear on you. He's going to annoy you. And I'm like, I remember that honeymoon phase. I miss that honeymoon phase.
That just happened in Pittsburgh, I'm telling you.
I remember I was at the media school when I learned about the trade. And the whole time leading up to it, we had been doing our debate shows. I had just been like, fuck it. I don't want anybody. I'm tired of Aaron Rodgers and his bullshit. I'm tired of the rumors in Seattle. I don't want Russell Wilson. I'm tired of this. I want to just draft somebody or bring in, just bring in Gardner Minshew for a year. If it doesn't work out, whatever. Because at that point, we were looking for a new coach anyway. So it was just like, fuck it. Just let it go. Anything. And then the trade happened, and it was like, I mean, that's awesome, but like, I was just saying I didn't want, so I guess now I kind of have to manufacture some excitement. And, you think of reasons why it's going to be good. And he was a, Hall of Fame caliber quarterback until he got traded. It just,
I think it was a little before he got traded.
I didn't watch enough of that to see what he did and didn't do and how they only did certain things and why they were so reliant on a running game for so long until they got, really good receivers in DK and Tyler Lockett.
Yeah, Nick, where's Russell Wilson on your Hall of Fame list that you brought up before now? Mr. Eli Manning. Where's that Hall of Fame list? Well,
the shitty one. Oh yeah, that's right. Because he was like, hey, look at Eli Manning away.
Eli Manning away from the Hall of Fame, Mr. Nick. Oh, it comes from
that was based on legit numbers from Pro Football Focus.
Yeah,
not Pro Football Focus. It was
you were all about it.
That shit cracked me up.
My numbers worked out pretty well though. You know what else works out really well? When Colin hits the button for the goddamn song.
Like, we all know the Broncos won't have a lot of victories, but one of us had a bunch of victories, and let's get into it.
This is the victory formation.
All right, boys, here we go. Best play in football. 6 right tight diamond victory on 1. Break.
Okay, 3, 2, 1, let's jam.
The Pick'em segment, proving that Colin Zanker is the most humble man in the history of time. Least. Featuring Nick Archuleta wishing he was somewhere else. And Joe Goodwin just kind of winging it.
Welcome into Victory Formation Club. I know y'all missed it last Saturday.
Oh, yeah.
I was a little busy working as I hopped on for a minute, but got to get you updated on it, and we will make our picks for this next week.
Yeah, Colin had to make
Saturday's
meat pounding appearance.
I did a lot of
he pounded that meat. Let me tell you, folks.
It was an anime fest with some fluffy, so pounded that meat. Furries,
yeah,
fluffies,
furries.
Whatever, fluffers. Let's get into how things ended up from 2 weeks ago. Well, I'll start it off. We all chose the New York Islanders to beat the not-so-mighty Ducks of Anaheim. And for all of us, that was a victory. At minus 200, we all won $15. We moved on to the first basketball game that tipped off right after our broadcast. That was Kentucky against Tennessee. Kentucky
Tennessee.
at plus 300 dominated Tennessee at minus 380. That is when I said there are teams I don't trust in the NCAA tournament. Yeah, so I did say it on the show. And Tennessee was one. Well, Joe, you trusted in 10 IC, and that was $10 you don't see anymore because it is gone. Nick and I both won $40 on that. Speaking of college basketball and your love for teams, Joe, do you remember picking Duke to beat North Carolina? Because I do.
Yeah, I think I did that. Yeah, because I was like, you know what? Fuck it. You know?
you and Nick were in the same boat picking Duke, and guess what? North Carolina won.
Good.
I was correct in that. And then we move on to the Timberwolves and Lakers on that Sunday night basketball game. That's fateful Sunday night basketball game where the Timberwolves went into LA and the former St. Paul Lakers or St. Louis Lakers, St. Paul, they're the
Minneapolis
Lakers. Minneapolis Lakers, that's what they were.
Yeah.
You know, the Lakers showed them who's boss and won that game. And I was the only one to have faith in the Lakers to win. Which means I had a clean sweep. 4-0. Winning $98, bringing my total up to $242.41. Nick, you went 2-2, winning $35, bringing your total to $204.20. Joe, you won one game, and that was the game you picked with all of us in the Islanders, losing $15 this week.
15
Joe,
bucks, little man, put that shit in my hand.
You are still in first place at $292.81, but with my $98 victory, that brings me into second place, as I said, at $242. Nick, you still want some money. We're all over the $200 mark. You are at $204.20.
Yay.
And that's where we sit. Wrapping up the victory formation from 2 weeks ago, and get ready for the picks.
I'm not
this weekend as March Madness kicks off. Oh man, I guess we're not gonna have. That's all right. We don't need any for the first day picks. I don't have anything planned unless you guys want me to do something real quick. No, let's wrap it up. We'll figure out something Saturday, and we'll have picks for the weekend. We'll see everybody after the real round one of March Madness.
Yes,
is over.
Yeah.
Go Rams.
Let's
go Bucks.
Go Rams.
Let's go Bucks.
I hope they do.
I'll still root for them.
Who's Duke playing? Go that team.
Don't bet against
plus 3,000.
Don't bet against Joe's favorite team.
Do it. I want to take the opposite.
Joe loves.
I'm going to take whatever team is playing Duke and just put my $5 on them to win the national championship. Whoever the fuck it is, we're just going to opposite pick it.
Well, everybody enjoy the basketball tournament. It begins tomorrow morning, 10 a.m. Denver time. Thank you, everybody that's still watching us, that's tuned in tonight. We love you all.
You're our favorite.
You still do this, just not as much fun.
Yeah.
For Colin Zaker, Joe Goodwin, I'm Nick Archuleta. Thank you, Michael Spillman, and everybody over at e5280sports.com for hosting us. We love you guys as well. Make sure to check out the other shows on that website. And once again, this has been the Undrafted Uncensored. Thank you, everyone, and have a great night.
Sign up for the bracket. The profit's back. The profit is back. 4-0.
Don't be like Nathaniel Hackett. Sign up for the bracket.
Yeah.
Rhymes.
Oh, hey, I didn't end the stream. I just ended